Hello everyone, I'm Jayavardhan Raju. Uh, Welcome to walkthrough of another use case. Today I want to show you something I have been building called Agent Memory. In the next few minutes, you will see what it does, how it works under the hood, and the interesting part on how you can have it running in your org before this video is even over. So here's the agenda plan for today. We will start with the problem, walk through a few simple concepts, peek at the architecture, and then I will show you five real scenarios running live, including one where you will watch the system forget something right in front of you. We'll close with how it's tested and how you can try it yourself. So nothing here needs a deep technical background. If you know Salesforce at a basic level, you will follow everything. Okay. So let me start with something you probably lived through. A sales rep closes a deal, big deal, great news. But the service team, they found out weeks later when the customer calls asking why onboarding hasn't started. Meanwhile, marketing is still sending that same customer promotion emails because nobody told them the deal already closed. So even if the data all lives in one Salesforce org, but the teams behave like strangers. That's the gap agent memory fills. It's a memory layer that sits across your clouds and quietly pays attention. There's no middleware, no integration platform. It's plain Apex running natively inside your org. So here we have like four terms. There are four IDS terms you need, and they all work like a human memory. So every pattern the system notices gets a strength score from 0 to 100. That's how well it remembers something. When the same thing happens again, the memory gets stronger. That's reinforcement. And when something goes stale or gets ignored, it fades a little every night. Just like we forget things that stop mattering. And fourth is the gatekeeper. Before any suggestion reaches a user, it has to clear a conference bar. Below 40%, it stays hidden. Either creates a new memory or strengthens an existing one. A background job then asks interesting question. Does what just happened in one cloud matters to another? If the answer clears the conference part, a suggestion appears. And if a user accepts it, a flow does that actual work automatically. So three custom objects carry all of it: the memory, the suggestion, and the full audit log of every action. That's the entire footprint. So let's jump into the three use cases which I wanted to walk through you guys. So the first use case is called as the ghost deal here. So here in the first scenario, this is Acme Corp, an enterprise deal moving through discovery, technical evaluation, proposal, and finally a 500K closed. Let's see this in action. So let me go into the Salesforce screen. Imagine there is an opportunity which has been created, and it is in the stage of discovery. And let's refresh and see what happens in the background. And let's say the opportunities. So here we are in the Salesforce Agent Memory GitHub repository. From here, you can click on this link, which will eventually take you to the launch live demo form, where you can put in your credentials and then fork the URL and request for the scratch org. Once you click on launch 30-day demo, you'll be clicking on it, and then for after 5 minutes or so, you will be getting the scratch or being created like this, and the credentials will be uh, given here with username, passwords, and the scenarios and the test records, and along with um, the scenario of and how the agent memory looks with a GIF image here. So let's jump into the demo scenario right now. So this is Acme Corp, an enterprise deal moving through a discovery, technical evaluation, proposal, and finally a 500K closed win. Four touch points, and the memory has climbed to 90. Okay, let's see this in action in Salesforce in the Acme Corp Enterprise account. So right now in the system shows nothing. The memory panel is empty, no strength bar, no suggestions, which is zero. And let's see what happens as the deal actually unfolds. Let's say, like, when an opportunity is created and the discovery call is completed, as been shown here, that is the first step. And so once that is done, let's say, and then refresh this panel here. I just injected this data from backend for now as I speak. Now you see that the agent memory is showing at the strength bar appears as 60%, one interaction, and then you can also see the action history here. So now one discovery call, memory now exists, 60%, promising not proven. So now when an opportunity is advanced, and which is like a technical evaluation being started. So let's see, I'll just refresh. Now we can see like what happens. I'll just refresh this page. So now it has climbed to 70%, two interactions, same pattern. See again, the memory as reinforces plus 10. Next, I can say the proposal is submitted, um, and it becomes 80%. Let's me refresh and we can verify that. So notice nobody is filling in a form anywhere. The triggers are watching the work that already happens. And finally, we can say it is closed one, and I'll just refresh. You can see it has reached 90%. The deal closed, and look, without anyone asking, the system is telling service to start onboarding. and now shows system entries are sales and service and sales marketing and marketing to start the adoption journey. So this is the handoff that always falls through the cracks. So let me go ahead and accept both the cross cloud suggestions. First, I accepted the service one, and you can see all this history which I've accepted both the suggestions and how it accepts. So this is the first scenario. Let's move on to scenario where we have the second scenario is the compounding signal. I can say it as opposite direction. Helix Sync has three support cases, all resolved, and the satisfaction scores keep climbing. 8, 9, then a perfect 10. One happy case is a luck, three in a row is a pattern. So let's see this in action. Let's go to the Salesforce screen. So different cloud, different story. LinkSync is support customer. So you can say like first case when it's resolved, it's related to API integration timeout, and the second case when it's resolved, it's related to API rate limit, and the CSAT is 9, and the third case when it is resolved, it's an OAuth token expiry fixed with a CSAT of 10. So coming back to the Salesforce screen here, let me just refresh. Then we'll just inject the demo data here so that we can quickly see this in action here. So I'll just, as soon as the first case is created, you can see that it's 60% and with the API timeout as we saw in the slide. And when a second case is resolved with rate limit, it's comes out with CSAT 70. And when a third case is resolved with OAuth 6 with CSAT 10, the agent memory reaches the 80%. So one happy case is luck. So three in a row with rising satisfaction score. 8, 9, 10 is a pattern. And the system just told sales this account trust us right now. Most companies never catch that moment. So we can accept both the suggestions. Yeah. So this is about the second scenario. Let's go to the third scenario here. The third scenario is the silent buyer because this buyer never talks to anyone. Maya is an IT director. She has opened like four emails this week, clicked on an ROI calculator, has spent over 4 minutes on the pricing, and download the buyer's guide. You can say it as a classic quiet research. So now let's see this in Salesforce. Then this. So the first action which we said about Maya just opened the email. Let's see like what happens. So uh, let's come to the third scenario is the silent buyer. because which belongs to like the account Quantum Leap Limited here. The contact Maya is an IT director. Is a silent buyer who never talks to anyone. She's opened 4 emails this week, clicked the ROI calculator, spent over 4 minutes on pricing, and download the buyer's guide. You can say it as a classic quiet research. Individually, those events mean nothing. Together, they push the memory high enough that sales gets a suggestion at 91% confident. It's time to reach out now before she signs with someone else. So let's see this in action right now. Let's me go to the Salesforce screen. Imagine as she mentioned, the first event is like she opened the email, and I'll just inject the data, and then we can refresh the memory here. And the second action she's going to take, I clicked on the ROI calculator. No, there is a memory jump to 70%. And third one, she visits the pricing page. Now let's see, the memory moved to 80%. And finally, she downloaded the buyer guide. And let's see this one. So memory reached 90%. And you can see like the 4 interactions and the sales marketing to there is a sales suggestion. I mean, you can see like a pricing page means nothing, but the 4 signals in 1 week stacked 91% confidence. Now it's time to call her now. So brings us to the third scenario. Now let's go to the fourth scenario. Fourth scenario is we are using this Northwind Logistics where the demo the fourth and fifth scenario together, where like one is a fading signal and it's a comeback scenario. Like North Wind talked to us 3 times, then went silent for 3 weeks. The memory is fading, and this suggestion is barely hanging on. So let's see this in action right now. I'll just run the nightly job at this moment just to see what happens. You can see the memory is standing at 45% right now. So I just ran the nightly job. Let's see, just refresh the memory. The memory just went down, and the suggestion just disappeared. Nobody clicked dismiss. The system just stopped believing its own advice. And here's the part you can notice. And again, when we receive a new phone call from Northwind, again, one line of learning, and the suggestions comes right back. So let's see this one in action again. Let me just refresh. Here, it just came back the crowd suggestions. So forgetting isn't a deletion. It's just like an healthy skepticism. Stale ideas fade, but the moment a customer shows up again, the system remembers it cared. So this brings us to the fourth and the fifth scenario. So now let's go to like so for demo purposes right now I just injected the data for these events in, but in production these events feed themselves, right? So for example, when a rep moves a deal to closed one, a trigger catches it. When a support case closes with a survey score, a trigger catches that too. And a marketing engagement email opens, pricing page visits, streams in from data cloud as platform events. So the org is already generating all these signals every single day. We are just finally listening to them. So here is we'll have like we can have something called as a signal mapping table, which can be maintained by an admin, like not a developer. He can write rules like close deal over, you know, 25K means these three tags, and want the system to learn a new pattern next quarter. You can just add in a new row. So no code, no deployment, everything typed by hand, which we can define in this table. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So I'm just we can say the test suite, the entire test suite which is written here. So a quick word of trust, because a system that learns needs proof it learns correctly, right? So there's a full test suite behind this, and it covers creating memories, accepting and dismissing suggestions, the cross cloud analysis, and the nightly decay job. I won't read them out. Like the point is here is simply that every behavior just you just watched is verified and not hoped for. So all we went through all the scenarios, and now you can just instead of just watching it, I would recommend you to request a demo about like 5 minutes, as I shown earlier. It will land in your email with the credentials of 30-day or created. The scenarios you just watched are already loaded. The tests have already run, and there isn't even a short animated walkthrough attached. So this just brings us to like the wrap up here. So that's agent memory in total Salesforce that stop acting like three separate apps and starts acting like one system that learns. Scan the QR code on the screen and hit the link in the description for the full code from the trigger down to the batch jobs. If you build something with it, I would love to hear about it in the comments. And before you go, one small ask. I write deep dive articles like this, one over jaraju.com, and I publish these videos, walkthroughs regularly on this channel. If today's thought you ask something new, and please subscribe, it is the best way to tell me these builds are worth sharing, and keep more of them coming. Thanks for watching.